challenge there. What's are your strategy? Because the people getting the information and fighting fake news, and people as well with the insights on social media. You need that promptness perhaps for react to them or for clarify issues. What's the strategy of your ministry or you as a minister in addressing this?
So first, I got a very supportive family because the kind demands the way they take on my time. Yeah, you can forget a supportive and understanding family. My wife and Pekin clearly understands that this is national service. So I spend a lot of time doing it. Even when I go home, you go for study this, you go for read this, for respond to that. The president makes a speech whether he did or not. You go for digester, when I go for call me, international media. So a very challenging. What's not the strategy? The biggest challenge we don't do now. I addressed the media once. I said, I go for guard against the invasion of our profession by people that wanna likes them, they want for generate. Sacrifice everything. So part of the thing, recently I started a Facebook Live program.
Yeah.
I go for day today again, 8 o'clock. It might be coming to you outside Freetown today. So now one place that we find for log on to RAM, log on and follow what's in the happen, all things government. You stay current with happenings in government. But even before the inauguration of this Facebook Live program, so we'll get a very active Ministry of Information Facebook page. We'll get them in there. As it happen, we break the news day. Fake news, it don't become the biggest elephant in the room because they are the level of all sides, misinformation, disinformation, fake news, because sometimes the politicians instead the generator.
Yeah.
Very, very sad. So we go for continue. We work with Sludge. I don't launch a couple of projects than before now. You remember Dubawa and Salon Fact Checker.
Yeah.
We don't launch all in one, and so we work with them and the media institutions there, even with the bloggers there, various for make sure we're able better. But it's a very challenging thing.
Yeah, information reaching the people. I see the president go around yesterday, and I was saying, somebody we get some populists believing I'm small, but I believe it should go with some discipline and enforcement of the law. Demystifying the presidency, getting information, and when people within a part, so the people to understand the things. What government they do, the challenges. How much of that outreach your ministry they do? And you think, I don't do much in these 4 years?
Well, so from the start of times, we always meet on occasions with the read Al-Fatiha. From the start of times, people then recite the Lord's Prayer. So information dissemination, they reach a point, the people then don't get saturated. It's an ongoing and continuous engagement. From when we become minister, or even before I become minister, this is what we have been doing. Would they continue to do that? Probably with more vim, vigor, and vitality, right? We got various social media platforms with the engage there. Arguably, I say, many of the Minister of Information and Communications we don't engage the media more than any other in the history of this country. I can also guarantee you, I have put boots on the ground than any other in the history of this country. Because I go to these communities and they tell me. So we're engaging. But like I say, information, this is a fast-changing and dynamic world. So it's a continuous process. We will continue to do that. Very recently, you see the president said, he's been the most demystified president in the history of our country. Other president and the bigger than for let them talk to the media. This president is not the only stopper at the media cocktail. They also bring guy, they come on a studio there. They open himself up to questioning. Yeah, because that a guy respect for the citizens and we vote for him. Yeah. So apart from that one day, you find out both local and international media open up to them. They talk. So This is accountable governance. This is
waiting on your targets. I know you have the strategic communications unit. You have people who you expect to give the information out, speak to the people. That level of usai the public, the community level go understand government programs and policies, and if somebody take out fake news, if they go say no, this is what the minister say or this is what someone from government said. You think you're not able to achieve that?
Well, like I say, it's an ongoing process. Just like we they recite the Al-Fatiha every time, you're a Muslim. You want to say the Lord's Prayer and the Talker all the time. Yeah. So we will continue to do more and more and more. Okay. Say we've been on decentralized press conferences. At the whole press conferences everywhere in this country, my team they go around. Anytime we get a major issue or even on continuing government engagement, would they do that? Would they continue to do that? It doesn't get to a point where they get saturated, particularly where we're not to a monolithic entity. What does that mean? Not to one side. Other people in the back where they feed the same thing into the same mix. In the days of citizen journalism, you get opposition, you get civil society. So all man they put into the mix. But as government, would continue for make sure say we lead the narrative. Or where there is fake news or misinformation, will correct and timelessly.
The president just appoints, Alhaji Alpha Kanu as in presidential spokesman.
Yeah.
What do you make of that as the Minister of Information?
Well, so it further goes to cement His Excellency's credentials. As somebody who does not see grains of sand, he sees the whole beach. He does not see trees, he sees the forest. Sierra Leone, he looks for the very best Sierra Leoneans there for work with, irrespective of your political affiliation, irrespective of who side I come from. That is what it shows.
And it doesn't mean, the people the way they handle the president in communications, they do well, it needs to bring someone else. Andrew Kiley was here, he was saying, the president no need for being somebody where this government don't say was part of a government, we get corrupt people and all of that. Is it that you've not been able to deliver that someone else needs to be brought in?
Who has not been able to deliver?
You as a minister of government,
it's never been part of my brief.
But generally you speak for the government.
But I don't speak for the president.
But
I have never been
the president is part of government.
No. Lamrana, let us do justice to our people. It is not for we see the president from the start of times. Minister of Information and Communications are speaking the bold issues around government.
We include the president.
No.
You don't talk about things that we get for do with government.
Because now cross-cutting
exactly.
issues.
I've interviewed about statement the way the president made.
So if you don't tell me, he had no reason, for example, for the appointment from an issue from the start of time. So he always had a presidential spokesperson, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the question is, bringing someone from outside. Alhaji Alpha Kanu says...
I always hear the more the merrier. The more the merrier.
Okay, so you're okay.
That's an additional pair of hands.
So you feel comfortable?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He also brings to the team over 10 or 11 years of experience. By the way, Alhaji Alpha Khan and I come from the same aviation background. While he was in the private sector, I worked for government. So we have been acquaintances for the longest time. He handed over power to me as my most immediate predecessor. So there is a chemistry.
There is strategic communications unit at State House.
Yeah.
You have a strategic communications unit.
Yeah.
You have the press secretary. You have the presidential spokesman. You're Minister of Information and Communication.
Yeah.
Most recently, there was an interview you granted to the BBC, and there was this question about emails sent to State House Communications. I want to ask, how do you coordinate communication as a government to respond to critical issues?
Okay, you mean to the CNN?
Yes, the interview you granted to the CNN. They spoke about an email that they sent to
It's one of those things. It fell between the cracks. Ordinarily, State House
and imagine State House
and I. No. We have such a great chemistry, such a great nexus. We are so collaborative.
And you were on the firing line for what State House could have done. Respond to an email.
Somebody has to be on the firing line. They could be on the firing line because of
So does that confirm? Does that confirm there is a lapse? There is a lapse in the communication in the office.
To expect we are running a perfect system will be an overestimation. No system is perfect. That was one blip on the radar. That is not the normal thing.
So I was asking, how could you think that could be handled better? Situations like the one in day.
Well, it was a teachable moment for everybody. We have taken the necessary steps to ensure that doesn't happen.
Who is taking responsibility for that?
We are not on trial, Amrana.
No, we are not. I'm just asking. State House is the people's house. We're talking about government.
Even in your house, things that happen in the room, you don't necessarily.
No, my house is a private place. The State House is government. We're talking about government.
No. So you hold people accountable. Have you ever had the theory of the black box? I'm a political scientist. There is a black box theory. Those things we do in cabinet, we don't necessarily.
No, the State House is not. I'm not asking about cabinet. I'm asking about communication. You've agreed. You don't confirm, say, this is something we could have been handled in a better way.
No. I did not say so. I said that was a blip on the radar.
Yes. So what does that mean?
It's a teachable. It's a learning opportunity.
So someone didn't do their work.
Oh, definitely. And I can understand why. It probably could have gone to the spam folder. But I don't want us to split hairs over this.
Okay, but that is important. We're on international media. I can imagine my minister is talking about, an email sent to State House.
But you listened to my response at the time.
Yeah, I listened to the interview.
It is not if this email was sent to Yusuf Keketoma Sandi or Honorable Alpha Kar, right? Yeah. At State House.
But State House
they send it to a generic address.
State House send those email addresses when they send their notices out. They put them there for more information. Send email.
I hear you. I hear you. We are not minimalizing the importance of what you raised. I'm just saying we have learned lessons from this, and appropriate steps have now been taken to ensure that we do not have a recurrence in future.
Do you enjoy a very good relationship with people who works on communications at State House?
Absolutely. We are all on first name terms. We are great friends. Yeah, sometimes.
And you believe they've been doing their job? They've been working with the presidency, disseminating his information, responding to issues the right way. You believe so?
Well, that is a decision. That's an opinion. My opinion on that matter is not important. But I've had.
You're the Minister of Information.
I've had a great relationship with them. Yeah. I know they treat their work very seriously. We have delivered on extremely.
You think they could do better?
Well, I could also do better.
No, I'm asking about them.
So a point where you cannot do better.
No, I'm asking about them. I'm asking. You think they could do better as Minister of Information and Communications?
As my interviewer, you could do better than this.
No, I understand. I'm not asking about. No, I'm asking. Well, do you think they should, or they should? Do you think they should do better?
We all should do better. Okay. We all should do better. We can do better. I know we have what it takes to do better, and we are pushing our own limits. We are pushing the envelope to ensure that we'll deliver more and better for the people of Sierra Leone.
Mr. Minister, 4 years down the line, are you convinced that you work diligently, the communication people of this government don't do their work diligently?
I think we've done a fantastic job. Okay. I'll give you a context.
Okay.
In 2017, you had, for example, only 360,000 people on social media. Today we have in the region of 1.2 million people. Each of them, have their own agenda, have their own views. So we have been able to manage all of that. I think we have done a phenomenal job in extremely difficult circumstances.
Okay. I interviewed Sorio Samora the last time. I don't know if you watch him.
No, watch him.
Okay. I'll play that video quick with Sorio Samora in opinion about the comms people information with the government. Then I can't forget your response.
Okay, please.
The people not get patient, but what? The one thing with me, I realized we're wrong, particularly with this government, they don't communicate to the people. They don't talk to the people. Of course, they come at a time where the world is tough. The world, not bad luck maybe, because COVID, for the past 3 years, it is just impossible. And I'm not the same make the user as excuse, and now plus Putin. So unfortunately for them, this past 4 years, it's difficult, even if they go big. The one they will forgive you, no self not get right now. But what they should have done was communicate all of this to the people so that the people understand and focus at least on one or two so that the people know that we have the will. Because I think I sometimes talk to the president. I know there is the will. He expressed certain things. There is willpower to deliver certain things. Of course, he's surrounded by people who are of self-interest, people who are selfish, people who are greedy, and it worries me. All the leaders then what we get, we then get them people that surround them, then people that they twist their necktie, and then get their own dreams. But if they're not careful, now then people that they make them drown in their dreams, they decide where they surround them. And this is what he is facing, that challenge there. I not think, say, is that surrounding himself with people who will work robustly for Sierra Leone, for deliver for Sierra Leone, for say day and night. I don't care what the people say, I don't care what my family say. Again, the one problem of this particular regime, they have not been talking to the people, because even if you travel, what you travel for, before you go, you are accountable to the people when they elect you. Tell them, I am going A, B, C, D. And if it's possible, where you come, show them what you go for. But I think that's one of his weakness, or his team.
Interview with Sorios, and I just want to read another post where a tweet where Dr. Sylvia Blyden do after you interview with Becky in CNN. It says, spectacular work by Becky CNN just now in exposing President Bio's State House communication. So embarrassing, and it was done live on air. Poor Info Minister Mohamed Rahman was left struggling live on air, and he could only say the important CNN emails fell between the cracks. And you get this other one where, you talk about the meeting where presidents been all with stakeholders them na State House, and she was referring directly to a comment JJ Safar made about, the whole issue was not communication. It wasn't about gap in communications, and she believes and agrees that there's been that level of some gap in communication. You've had.
No, at the response to Sorios, Sorios now one Sierra Leonean we all supposed to be very proud of. He has had a distinguished and illustrious career, but I also think instead of play into the hands of the usual people. You sit down there, there has never been a time where the president, they come off from overseas trips there, who know the drum on rooftops across this country. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to like us to give us that credit. This is fact. He does not live here. Yeah, so I think that's the danger with being an instant expert. Okay. Yeah, but
so you disagree with him on that?
I disagree with him. But like I say, with communication, you don't get to a point of saturation. You continue for doing. We have been the most accountable administration, like I say. The president himself, in his own words, the president would open himself up to the most scrutiny. They can't sit down now when they ask him. They go to all radio stations there. And this is not to hear no more. Even when he goes to the provinces, they take interviews there, they address traditional leaders there. We're not left down the gear. We say like I say, and I want anybody for challenging me. I have done more media engagements in the life of this administration than any other minister of information since independence. I want to let anybody prove out to the contrary.
So what is the problem? Is it people are not understanding, or the message get problem for let people understand?
Not so down at the point. Like I say, we don't use for talk, one side talk. Before now, like I say, where Dr. Spencer been saying to me, you only had SLBC. Government been get virtual monopoly over information management. SLBC, read the news, that was it. Pass Attila and radio station, go counter something. What you don't say, social media not there, internet not there. You go there, you ask for right to respond, right? That is what has been the case.
So now you get more work now, Jan.
Of course, more than any of my other predecessors. Dr. Alpha Khan, we hand over to me, he had only about 360,000 people on social media. And I said people been in opposition. We get our own way where they do constructive criticism. We they do Wednesday press conferences. We go sit down there, we profile alternative policy positions. That is no longer the case.
Is Dr. Sylvia Blyden, like I mentioned. Now other person self we believe say I just read the tweets.
At the council, the person we talk about the JJ Safa one.
Yes, no, it's Dr. Blyden. It's not the person we talk.
So on that one, Dr. Blyden, I respect her. I mean, I'm a friend.
Yeah.
But on this one, I think so we'll get divergent views.
Okay. Because
when we say the August 10 insurrection, bloody insurrection, was funded, was organized. They mobilize people for it and all ends in a day. It cannot be a communications gap. Yeah?
She said, you know, imagine, let me just read it.
Why you put it down to communications gap? But so now,
she said the right word used. She said, imagine JJ says it does not see information vacuum being complained about.
No. So I say information dissemination. Nothing now on the way you know they reach a point where you say we don't achieve 100% now not the do it.
Yeah.
We will continue to do it. And Chief Minister certain way the quote on this thing. Now one person will believe that one day. In fact, he believes we have been so focused on rural youth. I think say we'll forget a more programmatic approach for targeting urban youth. Yeah, with government information and probably support. Over the period, we have had NGOs come, youth at risk, youth this, that. Donor funding. After 1-2 years, donor funding not done, and that kind of thing. So he says it is not just enough, and that's what the president said. Think it is not just enough that we can't talk to people.
So you disagree with Dr. Blyden say there has not been any vacuum on communication?
No. So my position is this is work in progress. We'll continue to push the boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are communicating, but we can do more.
Bishop Tamba Charles, in the meeting where President gets with them, you know, get the same sentiments about not knowing much about what government is doing.
No. So I mean, he's a very revered clergyman.
Yeah.
I get the most profound respect for him. He was talking in a limited context because even a month or two earlier, the Interreligious Council and I met when we were having salary and cost of commodities and then petroleum issues. We did a presentation to them and they were very excited. Yeah, so I'll sure say they talk in another context. But bottom line, and they express, now that same meeting where they talk, they express their appreciation, say, we they call them regularly, we they talk to them. When we wanted to do the commissions of inquiry, we spoke to all the salient stakeholder groups.
Is it that you are not the problem, but the people who, the messengers, the other messengers?
I'm part of the...
Yeah. Maybe people who listen to you and understand what you're saying. Maybe there are other people who you work with or who are part of the communications team who they actually don't feel they're giving the right message. Is there a problem you believe so?
Well, you tell me.
The messenger is as important as the message.
They say the ISC is not a self, but by reflection.
But people do self-introspection.
We do that a lot. Even this morning, I had a conversation with the team. The team is being rebooted.
Okay.
If you like.
To do better?
Well, to do their best in the circumstance. To do their best in the circumstance.
You satisfied with the people where they talk for government, apart from you, saying at the strategic communications team, you think they have the credibility and capacity to do it?
Oh, a person not get the credibility and the capacity, may not they put you. Because I put that team together with His Excellency's blessing. Okay. So if I have weak links there, I take full personal responsibility. But even in this your team here at AYV, everybody is not on the A game. And there are different degrees and levels of performance. Even in the best football teams, in the best administrations, there are always different gradations of performance.
What will you say about Alpha Saido? I was standing at the few days ago, and some of the reactions about him being part of government communications has been very negative from people in the public, people that will watch the program.
Some others have also been very positive. I also have very reviews about his.
Okay, you believe he did well?
Well, I watched part of that program. I did not watch it to the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
You satisfied?
I didn't watch the whole program.
You're satisfied, but you're satisfied
with his performance?
Yes.
Oh, he's always willing to take on additional duties. He's very, very, very loyal and committed to his duties. Yeah. If you ask Alpha Saido now, you call him midnight. I want you to go on a program at DJ basis. He'll be on his way there.
Okay.
Yes, he's a willing pair of hands.
You don't think perhaps the credibility of certain people, the way they talk for government, they affect the message itself. You don't think so?
Well, you tell me. I mean, this is also a learning opportunity. I don't know about that.
No, I'm asking. You know people. I know people you hire, you do their background check, you want to know about them, you want to, evaluate their work as well.
Let me even tell you. In fact, that is what brings additional credibility. You see somebody like Honorable Alpha Khan, he had very critical views about His Excellency President Bill, but he didn't know him. He knew him from a distance. Same for Alpha Saidu. He has unsaid all of the things he said about President Bill. And you know what that brings out about this president? He is a very forgiving person. Okay. He does not have a savings bank in his heart to keep grudges. Okay. Yeah? You know the two people I'm talking about? But he does not see the weaknesses of people. He sees their strengths and their potential to contribute to national development. That is why he brought them. So contrary to the characterization of the president, he is not a vindictive person. He's very forgiving. He's an all-embracing Sierra Leonean leader.
Andrew Kiley have pondered my thoughts. He said the messenger is very important, sometimes even than the message. So man, the way you call them saying at this person they can't talk. People go for Sidom, go and Sidom and listen to him. And you mentioned people who have said things about the president, about the SLPP itself, and government.
They didn't know the president.
So they are born again.
Well, whether they are rechristened or born again, I wouldn't say. But when you get close to President Bill, that is when you know how very personable he is. That is when you know how very committed he is to the rebound of this nation. That is when you get to know how all-inclusive he is. That is when you get to know, you can literally feel the temperature of the passion he feels for the upward movement of this country, particularly young people. And I remember at yesterday's cabinet meeting, he deeply bemoaned the current situation of youth unemployment. And he's urged cabinet to go beyond the traditional mechanisms to addressing that. So that is the kind of man. So if you get close to him, that is when you begin to value his humanity. And the president is satisfied that they're speaking for him and on his behalf? Well, he is very satisfied. You seem to... He appointed Honorable Alpha Khan, for example. He didn't do so with a gun to his head. It was on his own free volition. He has presidential power, the prerogative to hire and fire. He hired him, right? After a previous appointment as, a regional minister, right? Alpha Saidu has worked with me all these years. I hired him, and I am happy with his performance. You seem to be a very powerful man. Really? I wish I knew. There was a video of you and the former IG get some arguments immediately after, a day after, I think, and he was sent on leave, as government say, or he was changed, and a new IGP was announced. The president is very satisfied with you, right? I wouldn't know. You may have to ask him that. No, if I work for me, boss, I go know if he's glad with the work they do, Mr. Well, I know he's not angry with me. He's happy. I know he's not angry with me. But you know if he's happy and satisfied, he's... Well, he has not told me he's dissatisfied with my performance. But based on una interaction, the way boss glad for Okumani, they know, bro. Well, alhamdulillah. Okay. Alhamdulillah. I still continue to enjoy the pleasure of His Excellency. So that is why, like when I say, I know the turn-down interview are always ready. I don't like to betray trust. I don't like to betray trust. He chose me out of 7.3 million Sierra Leoneans. Some of them more competent than me. Some of them have worked harder than me. Some of them more experienced. So because the lot fell on me, I must not let him down. And you've served him? I must ensure that, yes, I'll continue to serve him with dedication and all the vim, vigor, and vitality in me. You've served him to the best of your ability. Absolutely. I'm going to continue to push the boundaries. Quickly, we can talk about the Wednesday, August 10th incident. Show your samurai in that statement, they talk not only about the communication, talk about people who are surrounded by the president, who should share his vision, who should sacrifice and do a lot. You agree with him on that? Well, so you see, I wonder, but you don't host me now, either from what they go McKinney, or they go to them provincial places and all, or they go to markets then, they talk to people there about the global economic challenges and what in this government they do for address some of them challenges. And yes, if we get opportunity, we'll go to probably every village. Yeah, but we have worked very hard.
He's talking about people who work with the president to be selfless. People who will sacrifice, don't care about what the family says, what people say.
But that was how I started my own.
Get the dedication, the vision of the president.
But that's what I start me. That's what I tell you. You now you ask, say, look, if I get time for do other thing, I say, well, I owe that it to my family. So where they continue for show understanding, and they support me for make sure say continue for service excellency with all my vigor and ability. And
you believe people in government as well, in other other ministers have been doing that sacrifice?
Well, I think people are doing that because but ultimate appraisal of all it rests with His Excellency
the President.
Yeah, yeah. Because missing a presidential appointee, you say are powerful. I seem to be powerful. If I were powerful, I will make people, not break them.
The president.
So why you talk about? I mean, that is Facebook gossip.
You are aware of it. The
Facebook
president consult you before you do that sacking day, or was that interaction that? No, I'm asking. I'm asking. You were on that ground and we all that.
The catalog of human beings for the president to consult before he takes a decision.
But we spoke about demystifying the presidency and power. The president is a human being. He can speak to people.
The president, if he doesn't consult people, there not one of them. They consult. Yeah?
You're a minister. You sit with him in cabinet.
He has to consult ministers.
No, I'm just saying. Maybe he has a conversation. Did you discuss that? Was it something you discussed?
The president's right to hire and fire is
Mr. Minister,
negotiable.
I clearly understand the president's rights. I understand he's powerful. I understand the powers the Constitution, where the Constitution gives him. I'm asking, the president, a mortal man. You've known the president before he was elected as president. I'm sure he speaks to people.
Well, I'm
asking in that context.
One of those that he gives that privilege.
Okay.
Yeah. Of whether he wants to appoint somebody or he wants to fire somebody. I don't enjoy that privilege. I wish I did.
But how do you think about that coincidence after that issue with you and the IG?
But that issue had nothing to do with anything now. Come on. I mean, it was only but proper. I don't want to go back to that issue. I mean, we were invited to a press conference after it had rained cats and dogs the whole night. We went there. You were there yourself, right?
No, I wasn't.
You were not, okay.
Yes, someone was from AYV was there.
Yeah,
one of my colleagues.
I just raised concern that, look, we have been here for all this time. Nobody can get sacked for that. You will not even be queried for that. You know that.
And boom, the man...
You are just trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Boom, the man was fired after that.
You are trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Okay, Mr. Minister, let we talk about, the Wednesday, August 10th incident. The government say, the president in his address to the nation say, an insurrection, and people and die. The police send and don't beg them. What the status of the civilians?
Well, so last time I checked, which was 2 days ago, you remember government had put out a call
statement,
for loved ones to come to the Connaught mortuary to identify their loved ones, family members to identify loved ones. So far, we have had 11 people, as at yesterday, who had gone there to record, to identify their loved ones. After that, I'm sure postmortem ought to have started, right? I mean, this is the normal process, the due process.
Okay.
That's ongoing, and this will be done with family members in sync.
How many people, how many civilians are we talking about?
We have in the region of 27.
27 people?
Yeah.
The government consider all the while as people them way been participating at the protest, or people them way, families in don't care where they complain, say they need access to, they want the body, they want to go beg. Some are claiming that some of the people them we die, we are not actually involved in the protest.
Well, so my information is that people were killed on August 10 in the course of the bloody insurrection, like you mentioned, right? Government is committed to ensuring that they get befitting funeral rights. You know,
the government investigates how they died.
But an investigation committee has been set up.
The investigation committee.
So that will be part of the terms of reference. All of those.
No,
will be
the investigation committee is to investigate what caused the protest.
No, it doesn't stop at that.
Okay.
Those are some of the limbs of the investigation.
Of the people who.
Those are some
died.
of the
Okay, then additional.
Well, down the in, waiting they bring down the out now autopsy report now they bring down the out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Government regrets that innocent, possibly people.
For His Excellency, every Sierra Leonean life is precious, it's valuable. So any Sierra Leonean life who lost is unfortunate. Yeah? So now they make it undertake say, everybody will die, will be given a befitting funeral. And now they make, we don't do the announcement, they don't extend until, I think, to Tuesday next week, right? For the family members then can identify their loved ones then, let them proceed with post-mortem, and we'll go sit down together, we'll agree the mode of burial and next steps.
It seems that there is some fear, some level of fear. I see the ministry. There are some people who might be scared to come forward and identify
I want to assure those people on behalf of government that they have nothing to fear. Let them come, work with the Ministry of Internal Affairs for identify their loved ones there, and government will take the necessary steps, will do post-mortem, and together we'll go sit with them and plan the burial. So government is committed to doing that.
No one should be afraid that they will be arrested.
Nobody not afraid.
Okay, and so far people in the camp.
We don't get a levy as at yesterday. I sure say more people go don't come forward. You see Lawyer Dumoya in letter. I see right letter, then copy me on today. They say ain't go yesterday. They don't go see one of them corpses and they now the relation they ask for they did it for postmortem. Of course, that's the essence. Yeah.
The committee where government don't set up, waiting at the timeline.
So I'm not gonna say now, but there's clearly an air of urgency.
They don't begin work?
Yes, if we don't get for sitting, there's an air of urgency, and that's, however, not the sacrifice diligence on the altar of urgency. Because at the end of the day, we want a report, we will speak to all the key and critical issues there, right? And timeously too. So those twin considerations, the need for diligence and rigor in the investigations and timeliness. So that is being taken into consideration. His Excellency has impressed that on their minds.
A section of the public they question some of the people who are members of this committee, or some of the institutions even. Institutions and they don't pull statements where to some people they already don't get their own position. Say, yes, this is waiting government say, this is what they're moving with, this is what happened. How credible will they be? How credible will the report, the outcome of this be? That it can be accepted. That it can be accepted
okay, so
by the people.
Let's get it this way. Lamrana, if we put you on a committee today, some people will find fault with you.
Okay.
This is the nature of the country we live in. Yeah? But I know some of those people who have been appointed to serve in those roles. They are very critical people. They are some of the finest Sierra Leoneans. Those people, they think they sleep and wake Sierra Leone. They will serve, they will ensure that they do the very best, right? Because it's also about their own personal and collective integrity. They will not want to mortgage that for anything. So I will say to those doubting Thomases, why don't we give them a chance to deliver us a report that we can judge them on the basis of that?
Okay.
Right?
But to some extent, the government and the president even don't accuse the opposition APC. And why do a report even when you know those who are behind this?
Well, so wouldn't it be more credible if the committee came out and say, we did not see any evidence of what Mr. President has said?
So why wouldn't you and the president and people in government wait until there is a report instead of accusing a certain section of the public?
Well, so now you have an opportunity to prove us wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let me watch this video quick. It's a two-part video of what's been happen, where we've been get the prison riot issue and the recent statement, of the president on Wednesday, August 10th. After that, I'll go ask the minister some few questions.
Oh, please do. This looks like
evidence emerging from investigations have named known local leaders and members of the APC as being responsible for inciting, planning, financing, mobilizing, and in some cases actively participating in violent terrorist attacks against the people of this country. The silence of the national APC leadership on the activities, participation of their membership and executive members in these acts of terrorist violence, senseless loss of lives, injuries, and wanton destruction of public and personal property is truly disconcerting. And let us be very clear, citizens. The actions of these persons are not peaceful political expressions, as one expects in a democracy. Their actions are carefully planned, coordinated, well-orchestrated and executed acts of violent terrorism targeting the state, state officials, public buildings, and private persons and property.
Fellow Sierra Leoneans, today I greet you with a heavy heart. Let us mourn for and pray to God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to grant eternal peace to our police officers and other citizens who were violently killed on the 10th of August 2022. On that day, the peace, security, and stability of this nation was shattered by persons whose insurrection was premeditated, well-planned, financed, and executed with shocking brutality. Before August 10th, they had severally identified themselves on social media as APC warriors, PPP, and persons who are determined to capture political power, even at the cost of hundreds of lives. For some time now also, some politicians have been raising tension with divisive language and threats to make this country ungovernable. Their known surrogates and associates have stated that they will continue to illegally use violence to unseat the democratically elected government. The events of August 10 were a clear statement of their collective intent.
President Bio been the talk, but the first part of this video na May 2020, you know, and the second part na August, where the violent protests happened. President Bio clearly identified from that same day, you know, it's the APC. The way that they happen first, there is no terrorist who was arrested or even where them prosecuted, we go through the courts, then jail for what happened that same day. And we've got another one, we happened recently, and it's blaming same people where they finance, coordinate, and all. Is it that you know these people and you're not bringing them to justice?
Well, so let us say it this way. In the 2020 broadcast, he mentioned these people paraded themselves openly on social media and even in the current instance. I mean, we all know it's an open secret. Chap lying in the comfort and convenience of Holland or the Netherlands, Adebayo, who everybody knows has been speaking for the APC. It's been there. He's not hidden. You've seen other ones who call themselves APC warrior. This, you know, on the eve of this insurrection, they were, you know, okay, let's start from 2020.
Yeah.
They had called people to come out to burn down Pademba Road, to riot in Tombo, in Lunsa, in Makeni, and in all of those instances, it happened with fatality, sadly enough, right? Quite very well planned, choreographed.
And as a government, you have evidence of those people.
Let me come. In this instance, again, the same precursors were seen. The same things happened. The threats were made, the directives given, this time with greater ferocity
And these are
go
APC
and
people.
take over. Of course, who doesn't know that?
Yeah,
Adebayo.
but what I'm saying, the
Who doesn't
people...
know?
the-
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Lam
Go
Rana,
ahead.
You have had the opportunity to play me various tapes. You are asking,
Go
let
ahead.
me also respond.
Go ahead.
So, everybody knows Adebayo is APC. I mean, everybody knows that. He speaks on their behalf for the most part. He did say, and there was another guy, the guy who is alleged to have been shot in crossfire by the police.
Yeah.
In Makeni.
Police actually confirmed that he died through a crossfire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that guy, like others, Adebayo had called for State House to be raided, to be taken over, Parliament building, people to be lynched, burned down, and terminate, the tenure of a legitimately elected government. So, I mean, there is foundational grounds for all of these things.
So what I'm asking, Mr. Minister, now the people, the president sounds so certain. This is APC.
Yes.
So the people with the finance, coordinate and know them.
So?
In 2020, no one has been...
No, don't say people were not arrested.
I'm saying people, the people of APC, this APC big people.
Did you not hear a councillor or somebody was arrested in Lunsa?
Okay.
Or something?
So what I'm asking is, if government knows them people they are, why not bring them to justice? This is happening.
That's what I'm saying to you. Don't you know a sitting councillor or a former councillor that belongs to the APC?
I didn't. I'm not aware of
that is part of it. That person was in detention and was facing trial.
Okay, in 2020?
Yes.
He was the only one who financed it.
No. That's one example I can give on top of my head right now as I sit here.
Okay.
Yeah? But I tell you, actions were taken. And this one, because this one strikes at the very heart of our democracy, at the very heart of our peace and stability, anybody who has anything remotely to do with the insurrection of August 10, will be uncovered and made to face the fullest force of the law.
And that's it.
Investigations are unraveling.
Okay.
Let us be patient with the police. It's a very difficult task, they tell me. And let us be patient with them and trust the process.
Does that include Dr. Samora Kamara and the mayor where don't accuse governments, don't accuse clearly of making tribal statements, insightful statements?
No, I call them, for me, these are different kettles of fish.
Okay.
The mayor, she doesn't like people mentioning this, but this is fact. They say, the work with Boa Bessie. Kemokai go bring Boa Bessie under. Yeah? That's tribal bigotry. And sadly enough, it's coming from people who are aspiring to lead our great nation. Same for Dr. Samora Kamara, knowing fully well that even he himself was first employed as a cabinet minister by retired Brigadier Julius Madabi as the head of state in 1996. He picked him from amongst the crowd. Look at the president's cabinet back then in 1996. It was so variegated, all inclusive from all parts of the country, every tribe. You can't call a man like that a year down the line a tribalist. And that was one of his appointees saying, opportunities under this administration are only granted to one ethnic group coming from one. That was so sad.
So you already have two people on the radar?
No. That's another matter. I'm talking about tribal bigotry.
Okay.
I'm not talking about these investigations. I can't say the police are doing the investigations. It's their responsibility to do that. But we have to, this is the moment of calling out. We have to call out people, particularly people who are aspiring to lead our nation. We are talking about bringing this country together, stitching it together, reconciling it, and consolidating our hard-earned peace. When you come there with that kind of tendency, it does not bode well.
As a government, as we round up, how we are in the elections here now, less than a year to elections. How you think, we could handle things like national cohesion, the things politicians say to the public. The president has been a watch and way go, now look in town. And he was telling people, once he will say, we gets me attention at that. People in that crowd, they don't know than a Fula, they don't know than a Chimney, they don't know than a Mindi.
But that's
they are all Leoneans. Yes, so how do we get that? How do we get that so that we don't get to that point of seeing what we saw on Wednesday?
So let us as the media challenge other leaders to think like the president. Like I said, the president does not see grains of sand. He sees the whole beach. Everybody he sees as a Sierra Leonean. He does not see trees, he sees forests, Sierra Leoneans. So that is why when he appoints to positions, he looks for the very best Sierra Leoneans, irrespective of ethno-regional or what have you, right? So we want to challenge other politicians to also, begin to think Sierra Leonean.
You know, the issue of tribal rhetoric sometimes cuts across politics and politicians. You might be a very decent politician when it is said and seen.
But he has ever said, when you lead, that's the apex of leadership.
Yeah, so I'm saying, how as a government, how do you intend to address, diffuse some of these things, even if it's people from within who have the tendency to do this?
No. So we keep saying, you know, when you read President Bio's manifesto, he talks about inclusive politics, inclusive development, inclusive growth. So you see his policies are all premised on achieving that objective. Number one, free quality education. It's not picking who benefits. Not so? Yeah. Any salon picking where they in a public school, the benefits. You know, they say that for me people then are born to the street or team. Or my Minister of Information, come on, Pujon, now for them. Everybody they benefit. You understand? When they are giving Munafa loans, the public good is not important.
Okay.
When they give Munafa loan, then they say, then they give across the board. I have had testimonies, you understand, from beneficiaries of these. When during COVID, the president said, look, the service sector very hard hit by this thing. So what would they do? All my way they working at the hotel industry, right? Would they give them 3 months salary? It cuts across. You know, they ask for tribe. Where they pay subsidies, high subsidies, for them products, then they say, you now you forget, you know they get. You understand?
Yeah.
So the public good, down there, they spread out. Appointments there. This president don't make sure, see, everybody did. Cabinet now one big one pot. Then the National Cohesion Commission will set up.
The chairman for ECOWAS, the Guinea-Bissau president, so he came.
Yeah.
He asked the president for reach out to the opposition. He as well mentioned, say, he talked to former President Koroma, we assure him, say, he will reach out to the president, let them meet. Is there any conversation on that?
Okay, so let me get that straight. He did not ask the president to reach out. He asked the president to continue to engage.
Okay.
Yeah, because the president has been engaging. Let me make it very clear.
So that conversation there on for continue with the engagement with the opposition, he specifically mentioned the opposition.
Well, the president has always been engaging. He will continue to improve on that. He will continue to do more engagements. With the only hope that when they discuss honestly and sincerely, when they live there, you know, they implement them sincerely and honestly. Is there
a conversation to meet with former President Koroma, as he mentioned that day?
Well, I'm not privy to any specifics, but the president, as I know, will be willing to speak with anybody as long as it's for the national good, as long as it's for the peace, stability, and development of this country. Remember in 1996, when the enigmatic Fode's Sankor was nowhere to be found. Some people even had doubts whether he existed, right? It was he, as a young man then in his 20s, who said, look, you know what? Sierra Leone is so close to my heart. This is the only country we have. Wherever Fode Sankor is, we'll go and bring him to dialogue. It was he who literally took him out of the bush, started the process which the late former President Kaba built on. So he's always been able, he's always bent over backwards.
So we shouldn't be surprised if we see Igo McKinney one day and we see drive go to former President Koroma and pay a visit. In the
search for peace, stability, and progress for our country, I can't take anything off the table once it concerns President Bio.
Finally, Mr. Minister, the president, we are in September, will the president be attending the UN General Assembly meetings?
When next I'm here, I'll confirm that.
I understand.
But he has quite a seminal role to play there this year. He will be co-chairing. The global education meeting with the UN Secretary General, Mr. Guterres. And apart from that, the president is being invited to a Big Boys Club foundational membership of a few heads of state around the world to pilot this program for the world. So that means, you know, the global community respects this president for the strides he has made in education, for the bold initiatives, for the investment, and his passion.
I understand he has asked the foreign minister to represent him. Are you aware of that?
Well, I'm aware of, and many things happening in government.
You're not
But
aware
I
of
have
this?
said to you, no, I'm aware.
That's the
But I'm
foreign
saying
minister.
to
So the
you-
president is not going?
No. I'm saying to you, when next I'm here, I'll update you.
No, what I'm asking is,
This does not want to become an information minister that lies.
Okay.
I'm privy to other issues. So
but you're
let
not
me
aware
know.
of this?
I'm aware of everything you
But
have
are you
mentioned.
aware that the president has asked the foreign minister to represent him at the UN General
Labrana,
Assembly?
Things change. Things can be overtaken by other events. Can I not come back here next time and confirm that before hunger?
Okay, but it's clear you're not aware that the president has asked.
There is nothing in government I'm not aware of.
But
As
this
long
is
as
a
it's-
clear question, Mr. Minister.
But I'm
I'm
also supposed
asking,
to be
or
on
you
the
know what?
delegation.
You know what? Confirm that, or you want
I'm also
clarify?
supposed to be on the delegation.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, the hunger is not tomorrow. It starts on the 16th.
Yes.
Right? So we still have enough
No
time
presidential
to clarify.
plans. You go know if the president
Well,
a big
because-
man. Where they
well,
travel?
So because you not talking, so you know means you know the plan.
No, I'm aware.
No.
I'll show you documents I have.
You don't show me. I have a copy. I was copied on that
But I'm
document.
telling you about it
But
now,
I'm
and you're saying.
only fools and God do not change.
So the president could change and decide to go?
Only fools and God do not change.
No, I want to know,
Things
Mr. Minister.
change.
You're talking to the public. These are Sierra Leoneans.
So
The
are they fair?
the president, they go represent the public.
As at
They
the
go
time they
represent
write
Sierra
that
Leoneans.
that was the situation as at the time they write that.
Okay.
But things change. When they do, I'll come back here to confirm or deny.
Okay, but for now, this document stands.
I'm not going there, Labrana.
Okay.
I have said to you, next week, not so you go call me. Me, I will come here.
The president want relax. He want day around for us. Want travel.
But on a normal day, the president elect for day in people there, elect for hub noble there. Let understanding challenges, let's share the joys and travels with them. But because he has to travel, now for go fend for this country. Yeah? If he not to be that kind of person with their respect, not to be that kind of mark we don't make, this country would have gone through more challenging times, particularly during this COVID.
So he's going to stay around.
Well, I'll come back to you. I'll be here next week, early next week, to confirm that.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you very much, Minister of Information, Mohamed Rahman Swarray, for joining me. I wish you well. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
Always a pleasure. Thank you,
Okay.
my brother.
The Minister of Information, Mohamed Rahman Swarray, just don't talk about various things, you know, as always. But thanks very much for your time, and thanks to the production team we support this program. And so now we viewers them. I'll see the return next week. We'll meet back. Me na Amadou Lamgana back. Continue for watching AYV.